Happy New Year, Bubble family. This is the first video of 2022. I am super excited to show you my new intro, which is going to be coming up in a minute. So lots to talk about today. I'm talking about families and the monarchy. So yes, I'm still talking about them, but only therapy related. So if you want to carry on watching, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, and so let's dive right in. So welcome. So I hope you like the new intro and I hope you like the new name. It felt important to me to create something that was completely different from what I had from last year and completely distance myself from 2021 and have it in the way that represents me, represents what I give here, what I'm hoping to achieve. And I really hope that you guys come on board and, like I say, subscribe, keep following me, keep liking the videos that I put out there. So in today's video, I want to talk about family. And what brought me to this was looking at a lot of the comments that I saw in regards to Harry possibly coming back to the UK for Christmas. And I was very intrigued by the amount of outrage that I saw. I mean, I didn't see many positive comments. I saw a lot of outrage, and actually on both sides. So obviously we've talked about the Sussex squad and the people that are very much for Harry and Meghan, and then obviously there's the side of us who are kind of outraged about how they've behaved, and you know, myself included in that. So these videos that I do when I talk about them are going to be therapy related. I'm not going to do so much of the gossip and the hearsay. I'm going to look at therapy related aspects of their behaviour, along with other celebrities, and it's going to be a regular thing that I do, that I'm going to look at celebrities and look at their behaviour in relation to a therapeutic perspective, along with lots of other things. So in going back to the family aspect, what was interesting to me is that people were not separating the monarchy and the family. And I kind of want to put it to you guys, what do you think in regards to this particular aspect of it? Do you think there should be a divide? Is there a divide between the monarchy and the family? Or do you see them as one thing, you know, one family, that's it, you know, the whole thing, you know, it's all inclusive. And also then I also want to put to you about how you forgive people within your family. You know, are you somebody that forgives and forgives and forgives and forgives? Or are you somebody that thinks there's a limit to forgiving and then enough's enough? Or are you somebody that is one thing, done, that's it? Or is it dependent on what they do? Because I think every one of us have certain boundaries. Every one of us has a different perspective of what they view as enough to separate yourself from somebody. Some of us use it, some of us don't. You know, I've spoken about boundaries before in videos, and I will go into more in-depth within this. But within the monarchy, you have obviously the monarchy. You have the monarchy, you have the Queen, and you have the family, and you have the fact that they are held to a standard. You know, we've certainly looked at, and I will look at this in a later video, of Prince Andrew and his behaviour and how, you know, he is held to a higher standard, quite rightly so, in regards to also his behaviour and what he's done, or allegedly done, should I say. So do we look at that in regards to Harry and even Meghan? Do we look at their behaviour and do we hold them to a higher standard? Or is it the fact that actually they just shouldn't do this as a human being? They shouldn't behave the way they have. So then you go into, it's Christmas. You know, there are many people out there that might feel angry about a family member, but then find out they're on their own over Christmas, or there's issues, and they forgive for that Christmas, for that period. Is this right? You know, what do you guys think? Do you think that if this was the case, which if I'm looking at it from an outside perspective and a therapeutic perspective, can I see that they are separating monarchy and family? Yes, I can. would it be possible that, taking aside the monarchy side of things, that if they found out that there's issues within the relationship with Harry and Meghan, they wouldn't want him to be on his own, especially if he's in a fragile state? Yes, I can. So then you go to the fact that obviously us, the public, the people that are supporters of the monarchy, you know, why do we feel so outraged by that? Because would we do the same if a family member had treated us the same way that Harry and Meghan have treated us, but then we found out that one of them, our son or our daughter, was going to be on their own, and say for perhaps they were in a bit of a fragile state? Would we forgive them enough to have them home for Christmas? Would it change anything? No. But would it be something that is right to do? And I think, you know, this is something that I believe that we all have our own versions of that. So looking at it from my personal opinion, my personal perspective, yes, I would allow that person to be home for Christmas. And I don't know if there's really a right or a wrong in this, you know, because I think, you know, you're going to have different people that are going to view this very differently, and you're going to have some that are kind of going to be for, some going to be against. And even within our own family, like for example, if I fell out with somebody and I found out they were going to be on their own for Christmas Day, and they were struggling, I guess I would want to be the better person that to say, you know, okay, look, I don't want you to be on your own for Christmas. It doesn't change the fact that I'm angry and hurt and upset, but I don't want you to be on your own at Christmas. Then, you know, and I would like to think that I would do that. But I guess it also depends on what they've done, you know, and I think, you know, that's the hardest thing. But it was interesting to me how people were so outraged by this, and there was not many people that were actually for it. Even people, like I said, that on the Sussex Squad side, they were angry of the fact that if Harry has gone back to the UK, that it's that again, but it was all about kind of how upsetting this would be for Meghan. And it's interesting that they would not forgive Harry if he chose to go back to the family that in their eyes have been so hateful and so awful to them. You know, obviously, you know, the side of us also believes that that's not the case, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You know, we don't know the conversations that are happening. We're only getting what we see publicly. And I think that's where it becomes quite damaging. It's like, I think sometimes I feel like the monarchy are trying to have everything. They're trying to have it both ways. You know, you want the support of the people, you know, especially when so much has gone on, especially with the Queen being so fragile. You want that support because it's the support of the people that keep you going. Because if you lose that support, then for all intents and purposes, the monarchy could be damaged, or and at the very worst go. So you want that. But then you don't listen to the people when it comes to things that the people have been so outraged about, like for example Harry and Meghan's behaviour. There's not really been any real consequence of behaviour because they seem to be doing what they want. So I think then you kind of look at it from that angle, and you're kind of like, well, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have the fact that, you know, you want all this support, you want us to support you and being there, but then, you know, when it comes to something, you're not taking our thoughts and feelings into consideration. You know, do we have that right? You know, as you know, as a UK country, you know, do we have that right to kind of demand that from them? You know, or should we separate monarchy and family? For example, okay, family over Christmas, he comes back and he is there for Christmas, but coming back to the monarchy, being part of the monarchy, should that be completely separate and he has nothing to do with it? And in my opinion, yes. In my opinion, family and monarchy should be separate. But they're not even doing that, are they? You know, that if he did come back to the UK for Christmas, okay, but then they're also allowing them to get away with certain things and still keep using the titles and still keep using, you know, all the gifts that come with being part of the royal family. So I think this is why I can understand why so many people are outraged. So look, going back to kind of our own families, I kind of want to look at, how much do we allow to happen? Well, this also depends on your own boundaries. Your boundaries of what you have as, in a sense, your family rules or your own personal rules, because obviously this could be something that's done against you personally, or it could have been done to the family as a whole. And it is okay to love your family member that's hurt you. It is okay to do that, but not like them. So you can separate. So you can say, I love you, but actually what you've just gone and done is really painful and really hurtful, and I need some time. Now, it might be that that time is forever. It might be that something has been said or done that's so bad that you cannot find a way back in, I guess, bringing them into the way that they were before. That could be very possible. And that is really down to you. It's a very personal, it's very personal to who you are, as a person, and what your boundaries are, So some people, like I've said, some families that I've spoken to, if I'm looking at it from a personal perspective, rather than professional, I can get it, but personal, I sometimes feel that maybe it could be a bit harsh. How some people will cut somebody off for something that I possibly believe they could come back from, and obviously then we would work on that. But again, it's still a personal choice. If you choose to let go of a family member that has hurt you or wronged you, whether it be personally or within the family, that is your choice, And I suppose it's curious, and that's why I kind of want to always put it back to you guys of how you feel about this. Do you have a family member that has done something and your whole family has cut them off? Or you have cut them off? Was it something that you feel that could be forgiven, but you don't want to forgive them for whatever reason? Or is it something that actually you feel that in time could be forgiven? Is this the same, do you think, for Harry? I don't want to say Harry and Meghan, because I actually feel that perhaps because Meghan isn't a blood relation, I don't know if she's ever going to be forgiven, really, even by the country or the monarchy, the family. I think she's too far gone. So we're talking about Harry here because he is a blood relation. Do you think that there is a point when he could be forgiven, whether it be by the family and in a way his second family, which is the UK country, because, we have watched him grow from birth, so, well, a lot of us have. So what do you think? Do you think that it's important to put those boundaries in and stick to them, vigorously? So when someone does something wrong and they cross that boundary and they do it the first time, is that enough to then go, enough, I'm done? Or should there be some leeway? Or should there be a little bit of leeway, and then when they've done it a couple of times, 2-3 times, then it's kind of, okay, enough's enough? I think some of this is also down to Harry's upbringing. I think that when you're not given boundaries when you're younger so much, and I'm not necessarily including Diana in this, I do think there's an element there, but obviously that's not really what I mean. It's the fact that I think when she passed, perhaps they let him get away with things too often, or covered up for him, so he didn't have any boundaries. So maybe that's why they're still not implementing them. Maybe that's why they keep forgiving him, because they keep making those excuses and allowances. At the end of the day, he's a grown man. He should know better, but he doesn't. And is this a lot of it down to the family? Should they have put those boundaries in the beginning, so then perhaps this would never have happened? Do you think he was treated differently to William? Because look at the difference in the character. Look at William's character to Harry's character, two completely different, but they both went through the same thing. All right, William was older, but they both went through the loss of a mother. They both went through being raised by Charles and the family. But do you think that the age is a difference. You know, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think because Harry was younger, perhaps that's why he is the way he is? Or do you think it's just, you know, he just has that personality, and unfortunately, with some very narcissistic tendencies. I don't know if I necessarily think he's got narcissistic personality disorder, but I do think that he definitely has some narcissistic tendencies there. And a lot of that can be down to the loss of the mother and then his behavior being enabled, you know. So do you think that then the family then are culpable, and maybe that's why they keep allowing him to do the things, because they blame themselves maybe? I don't know. You know, again, we don't know. We can only go by what we see and what we know. So like I say, putting it to you guys, what do you think? You know, what do you think? Do you think that this was completely wrong? If he was allowed back to the UK for Christmas, completely wrong in any shape or form? Do you think he should have not been allowed back? Or do you think that perhaps, okay, yes, he's family, I can understand that, and actually we need to separate that from the monarchy? Or is it the fact that because he's allowed to get away with everything, that's probably why we're all so angry about it? So yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this. So I'm going to try and keep my videos a little bit shorter, so hopefully then, you know, you don't get kind of bored, and, you know, I'm not saying there won't be the odd long one, I'm sure there will be. So going forward, there's going to be, like I say, there's going to be lots of content, and I hope I'm going to get back to maybe doing 2 or 3 videos a week, obviously dependent of trying to fit them in around my work, because obviously work's gone a little bit crazy at the moment. So also I'm still going to be giving away the therapy to people that are struggling financially. You know, I still want to be able to do that. Obviously I need to build the channel a little bit more, because obviously what happened before, but I'm hoping that going forward, that is going to be something that I really, really want to do. I do have a couple of places open. So if you are interested in working with me, then please email me. The email will be going across there. It's still going to be the same email. I was going to change it, but then I decided not to. So it's still emsandfriends21@gmail.com. If you like this video, if you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And if you really want to support, you can, in the link below in the description box, you can buy me a coffee or a cup of tea. So that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a cup of tea. So that would be greatly appreciated, and everything that you do really does mean a lot to me. And so I am, you know, so blessed to have you all still here supporting me. I also have coming this, probably in the next month, is going to be my merchandise, which I know a lot of you are very excited about. I've spoken about this before, but it's going to be the Bubble Family logo, which you can see on my profile. And some of the things that I say are going to be going on lots of merchandise. But going forward, I want to be able to do more and more and more, you know, and kind of grow the channel to be more professional, give back, you know, so I can do more giveaways with some of the items that I have up for sale. I'll be giving those away for free. There is an option, if you want to become a Patreon, that you will get a great discount if you are a Patreon for the merchandise, and there'll be lots of other things as well going forward. So please, I hope that you stick with me, and yeah, so I'm so excited, and I hope that you guys are too. So yeah, so enough for now. So I will see you in my next video, and great start to 2022, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, Bubble family.